Coverage D is loss of use. Loss of use is going to be paying for you to stay someplace else while your house is repaired or rebuilt. You're typically going to have two parts of your loss of use. One part is going to be your coverage amount. So it'd be like, could be a dollar amount. So they may say 50,000 or 100,000. And then the second part, if you have a dollar amount, you typically also have a time frame, which would be 12 months, 24 months. Some of them will just do what's ALS, or actual loss sustained. And that will just be a specific time period, like 12 months or 24 months. I do recommend people to think of, if it's available, to do the 24-month period rather than the 12-month period. Typically, in my experience, the premium difference is very small. You might be looking at maybe a $10 a year difference in premium, but in the event of a claim, that makes a significant difference in how much pressure you have to get your living expenses paid for while your house is being rebuilt. So if you had a total loss, if you have smoke damage and you're out for a month or two while they're cleaning out the whole house, no problem either way. But if you have a total loss when it burns down, what I tell people often to think about, so I had this discussion with the contractor the other day. He's like, well, I can build a house in less than a year. I said, you can when you've already been planning to build the house, right? So like if you've already got your permits lined up, you have the plans approved, you have your labor, your subcontractors hired. So then you go in and you just start building. The actual build process would be less than a year. The issue with a burn down is, one, it wasn't planned, or it shouldn't be planned, or you have other issues. So you don't have your plans put together. You don't have them approved by the city. You don't have permits. You don't have your contractors lined up and ready to go on day one when you break ground. So you don't have everything pre-set up before you start that construction phase. So pre-construction phase, you would need to include into that time of, or loss of use time. The second issue is, before you can even start that pre-construction phase, is you're going to have the investigation phase, because the fire department's going to do their investigation, and the insurance company typically will also do their investigation to make sure it wasn't arson. Once that's done, then you get permits for demolishing or removing your debris. You have to get all of that removed, then go in for permits and planning to start your building process. Before you even get everything removed, it could take several months, 2 to 3 months, just to get your debris removed from the property. And now you're on a 9-month time frame where you have to get your permits, plans, and everything lined up. So that's the issue that oftentimes comes up, and it's difficult to get a house from the date of the fire to move back in 12 months. I won't say it's impossible, but it's very difficult. And so I always tell people, if you can, you should opt for a longer period of time for your loss of use coverage.